Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, the Chief Strategic Officer, T3 Live. What did I just say? The Chief Strategic Officer of who? T3 Live. Freddie, what's going on here? Anyway, I'm only kidding. That's what type of day it's been. A very long day, very erratic day, very whippy day. We started, things looked pretty systematic, gapping up after a big week and a half rally. The title of my tweet about S&P cash was, I think the first move into 2850 to 2875 should be a sell, not a buy. It's crazy. I got backlash on that. Everyone's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You guys chase the markets. What do you don't want to buy it today?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, we don't chase the markets. Yes, we like to play momentum names that run when the trend is in our favor and they break out of tight patterns and you could use a tier system, but by no means do we chase day 7 or 8. Sometimes when you're in day 7 or 8, yeah, the rally broadens out, we're in a bit more positions because some more positions are working, and you could be in some high beta tech and in some banks and in some wellness names, and things are methodically going, but by no means are we chasing something up 6, 7, 8 days to the upside, especially when it's so extended from the 8-day. Last week I tried to give that little or actually this morning, the little lesson on when you want to get involved and when you want to be meaty, and that was when the 8 and 21 day was reclaimed at 2770. So today at 2850, I'm like, with 75 handles above, when we reclaimed the moving averages, besides the 2722 low from the Friday before that low, that was 50 handles, I'm just like, take care, the Fed's tomorrow. So anyway, kind of getting pissed off about all these Twitter people just because some are upset because they're short and they've been shorting all year. Some are upset just because they had a few things that happened that were unfortunate. Some guys went home long that Friday into Monday Boeing because it closed strong and it ruined their week. Some were long Facebook, that kind of gave a signal but didn't get out, and that ruined their week. Some missed Amazon because they played it last week and they didn't go back to it Friday, Monday into this week. Some were upset because Goldman had a great move and you had to be in there last week and buy yesterday and sell today, and they bought today. And so if the bottom line is you're upset, don't blame anyone around you. Don't blame the traders on your desk. Don't blame the whoever person you follow. Blame your system, okay? Because I know I'm definitely not right all the time, but when I'm wrong, I try and get out fast and I cut my loss and I move on, and I don't get louder about my losses. The ones that didn't get you in trouble are the ones that are louder about their losses because they want to be perceived as being right, and that could have you lose a lot of money because they are preaching and screaming about their thesis while the market's not confirming it, and you lose money, and then finally you get out and then something happens. So anyway, I'm ranting. Let's go right to the friggin' chart of the S&P cash. At this particular point, we did have a bit of a push through failure, not the end of the world. Why isn't it the end of the world? Well, look where we bottomed that Friday. Look at this day when we took back all the moving averages. That was your day to get back in portfolio approach. Then, we took out this part of the range around 2813, 2820. So, up here we hit a high of 2852, and I think we're off to 2824 lows, and that's where the 8-day is. So anyway, the Fed is tomorrow. We talked about this ascending channel, which isn't broken, but today would be a day that if you were in 10, 15 positions, hopefully you sold some in strength, hopefully you got some out at flat, and hopefully you got some of them were trailers that maybe you lost money today on, but you've been holding it sincere. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. All in all, my spider hedge was hurting me, but at some point I actually made money in it across the board. So I got stopped out of some longs, and I added to my spider hedge when we went back below 28.35, and wound up being a decent day. I know some of you guys were like, "Red Dog, you sold Amazon early." Okay, I sold Amazon early, but looked like I sold it early at 1760, where we had a nice trade, guys. I don't think anyone in our service, gets upset about taking profits because, again, we were in it in here, and then some of you got bigger. I think I got out of it on this day. I bought it back on Friday around 1702, and then when it took out 1709, and then I bought more when it took out 1729, and then I sold, after trading it today around 1760. And everyone's like, "It's going to 1850. What's the matter with you, Red Dog?" I'm like, well, look where it came from. Look where the moving averages are. Just make 50 points. I'm not comfortable holding it. Maybe I could buy it back. And you know what? I didn't buy the close, which I could have. And I said, you know what? I'm going to wait for a little price discovery. I'd rather let it, if it opens down tomorrow, I could buy Versa low and get a nice little middle, or, not get caught. At least now we have 1784 as a point of reference, which was above these spots. But now we'll see. Can it be Bible here, or who knows? Maybe it opens up tomorrow. I don't know. All I know is that it was a great trade. I was very happy where I was with this stock and with my month and my quarter. It's been a long road since, you know, the what's it called, that December move. You know, I remember right around here, we played this really well. Remember this bearish engulfing bar? This bar was the opposite. This was get out of dodge, this was get short. The same way this was cover shorts, look to get long if you saw a confirmation of it, which was here. Same way here, this was, hey, get a little careful. This took out this spot, so you didn't have to deal with the last 2 days. But then this said, hey, you know what? Here's your little V bottom again, and there's some power. It didn't get rejected here to go lower. So anyway, you got to listen to the candlesticks. Let's move on. IWM, what did you do today? Pretty red bar. If I was long it, I would be probably flat. I'm nothing here. You know, I just took a little trade here. Remember, this 3-day trade was my trade in the IWM. I haven't traded it once since. This gave us some clues with that lower high. And now we'll see, does it break this? That would say, hey, maybe the market's a little weaker. If it holds here, goes sideways. It's just not leading, but it's not a headwind. We'll see tomorrow. The Qs, I bet you did, a little bit of a doji. Okay, so dojis aren't that bad. That just means momentum slowing, but then a doji could mean downside if we get below this and stay below this. If we hold this and digest, it's just fine. This was the group that gave us the first clue that the S&P could get above 2,800 when this got above it a day prior. You know, those are called indicators. So again, back to Amazon. I am not an Amazon. I was going to buy it. We're pretty much on the close, and then I saw FedEx, you know, was getting hit hard. So I figured maybe, you know, if FedEx isn't having good earnings, that means maybe people aren't buying as much from Amazon. So maybe after a big move like this, I could be a little patient and wait. Google to me was very interesting. You know, I got along the options right when the stock was like 11.92. I played it a few times, the stock wise, closed real strong, and you know, it's been a leader. You know, it got a little bit caught in a bad news cycle. If we're up tomorrow, it should be up. If it's down tomorrow, maybe we'll look at it. All I know is that they're talking at a major gaming conference. Now, I sent the tweet out, which was kind of for fun, but kind of the truth, you know, like the Warren Buffett or the Peter Lynch method, where my son is very sporty, okay? I'm not bragging about him, but he does play basketball, lacrosse, track, and he's always active. So when he's not active, what does he do? He plays Fortnite. That's his way to rest. When he's not playing Fortnite, and he's not allowed to play Fortnite because we limit his time, he's on his damn handhold. I'm like, what are you watching? He's watching people play Fortnite on YouTube to get better. So I'm like, what are you watching? He's like, I'm watching this guy on YouTube. I'm watching that guy on YouTube. This guy's got 8 million followers. This guy's got 4. Oh, this guy's making... and his friends were over there. None of them watch TV anymore. I'm like, wow, YouTube must be getting some traction. Maybe they're making money in advertising. No one's really talking about that YouTube, you know, with Google, etc. and the gaming. They're saying, oh, Google's not in gaming. Yeah, they are. Everyone's watching the gamers on YouTube, so there's ways to make money there. So anyway, that's a little bit of the connecting the fundamental story to why is Google doing so well besides, you know, doing nothing for a while in this big base. If you go back here, really, Google has not, you know, done a whole heck of a lot in a long time. It's just at the upper end of the range. It's been in a channel. We're in 2019. This is 2017. It's just back to here besides this little overthrow, you know. So I would say out of the fundamental stories, this is at least, you know, the PE is not as horrible as some of the other ones. But anyway, you know, we'll see what happens here. There's still a lot of room back to the highs, and I don't know if it's going back to the highs, but I know it's been strong ever since this day. It was very, very tight. Pushed through, retest, you know, passed by the bulls, took out the 2019 highs and turned up a little bit after holding the 8-day. So I say you could be in things when things are special. Well, it did hold the 8-day and it's acting special. If it were to take this out in the next day or two, it's not acting special, but for right now, it's still special. Facebook's not acting special. You know, it broke below the 8-day on some news and showed a little divergence earlier in the week, and now it's just trying to hold this spot. So we'll see. I'd say the longer it stays in this area, the higher the probability could break below it, but we'll see. Typically, Facebook looks bad and then pops back up today. You know, it looked good for a little bit, the news of Instagram and Marketplace, et cetera, but still has a lot to prove before you need to be holding this. This is not special. It's a trade here and there, but it's not special. You don't sit in it. Here it looked special. There it looked even more special. Here it looked like you needed a rest. Here it looked great. I actually went with this instead of a few other names, which I should have, and then while other names were going, it kind of stalled, and then boom. So we'll see. Netflix, I'm not in either. That didn't act well. It was the first one to go red today, and you know, this topping tail got me out yesterday. Didn't trade it today, and now it seems like it's below the 8-day. It's hanging here. Take care. It's been very sloppy. If I had to be short something, maybe I would be short this, but I'm not short that. Apple also got extended. So what does that mean? Does it mean it's game over? Does it mean they're not selling iPhones? It just means no. Entries and exits matter. Had a friggin' awesome big move from here. Remember when it took out 176 and took out 177 and a quarter? And then today, it got above a prior high. So this is the rule, guys. I give you red dog language. It's got to get above and stay above to continue and build. If it doesn't get above and stay above, it's a sell signal, it's a reduced signal. Obviously today was different because I was like, you shouldn't be buying it anyway, you missed it. And this more like was, okay, if it can't hold above, maybe you could short versus a 15-minute high and then use the prior high as a pivot to get short, and then you have your stop, you know, and it's calculated. And meanwhile, you know, look at Apple here, wound up getting hit. You could have made some decent money short. I know Michael was all over it. I actually didn't tweet it, but I got short too. I made some money short. Hey, Red Dog made some money short. Anyway, here's the 8-day. Here's this candlestick. We'll see what happens here tomorrow. Does it hold 185.79? Does it break below it and retrace lower? That would probably bring the market in a little bit more. All in all, big move from here. I'm not in a rush. I want to see some price discovery before I start buying it to sit in besides just a scalp. What I'm in AMD. Wow, I didn't tweet that either. You guys got to be, guys, the virtual trading floor. You know what the virtual trading floor is? It is a product that we have that monitors every single trade that I do. You can see when I buy them, sell them, when I take them off, when I add, when I subtract, they flash. The Redler All Access subscription-based model is to put my game plan in front of you with the video so you can see it visually, with a note if you want to read it, and with charts and language that connects all the dots. I do try and let you know what I'm doing during the day, but that's not what Redler All Access is. It's to give you a strategic plan on how to make money, how to give you situations. If this happens, then do that. If that happens, then do this. If you want to do this, there's a lot of things on there. You don't have to focus on all of them. But the virtual trade floor monitors everything, you know, step by step. And I only have 2 thumbs. I have 6 monitors. I have a lot going on. I can't tell you everything I'm doing when I'm testing it even, because then you'd be like, I'm in, I'm out, I'm out, I'm in. No, if it's a play and we're looking at it and I think it's going to take a few days, and I say it, like Goldman Sachs, I'm like, I'm buying the $2 calls, the 175 calls, because it may not do it the way I want to do it, but if it gets above 199 or 201, we could see a move. And then Goldman Sachs did the move, and today gave you a pretty red candle. So if anything, if you were in it here, buying the $2 calls, I sold some at 3.5, 4.5, and I sold some at 6 today. And I actually did tweet that to you because you guys have been following, so I wanted to make sure. But even if I didn't, you know what happens here. Does it get above and stay above 203.85? It did get above to 206 and then didn't stay above. So once it came below there, that was your reduce and adjust. Remember, get above and stay above, it did. Get above and stay above? No, you adjust. So this way you could continue to trade it and you could have netted money after a big move, and it also did come from down here. So you got to know my language and the rules, because if I don't tell you what I'm doing, doesn't mean you can't do it when it's in the motion of it. I'm trying to teach you how to fish. I'm not always just going to throw fish in the boat, or, you know, or when they're on the line, pull them in for you. Anyway, bad analogy. BAC, I actually still have a little bit of this, but smaller, just because I sold some and I didn't get out of the rest, and I'll give it to here. CGC, I'm still in some. It did, you know, give you a little bit of strength towards the end of the day. It's very tight now. I'm hoping that it holds and we could buy this thing through here and finally get some traction. Market sold off, it didn't sell off, so I'm still in some, and I'll wait to see if I can get into a tier 2 or even a tier 3 if the volume's there and the relative strength's there, but it's not there yet. ACB, I'm flat overnight. I'm going to wait. Hopefully I could buy a little bit more lower. We were in it from here. Nice trade through here, and now it's, you know, needs a little bit of time. And that's it. I got to jump. It's Tuesday. It feels like Thursday. Tomorrow's Fed day. We'll see how it goes. You know, today gave you a bit of a sell signal, gave you a bit of clean up some loose longs. Hopefully you've made some money back if you were, you know, starting with a hedge. The last 2 days I've had a hedge on. I've been adding on strength, trading around it, and finally it helped. And then we'll see how we react after the Fed. How dovish are they going to be after the S&P just went from 2350 to 2850? It's a lot. I don't think they're going to be that dovish. But, you know, do they say we have one more hike this year, or we have none? Or do they talk about the balance sheet that people don't want runoff anymore? We'll see. So at this point, be light on your feet, and we'll figure it out. Hopefully, you made a really, some nice money in the course of the past 3 months. We've had these active sequences that have been pretty methodical with not a lot of traps, and that's a good way to trade. See you in the morning. Have a good night.